Oh boy. Oh boy. This thing is awesome, dude. It's so good. It's the highest double barrel alpha damage in the game. 490, and it's at tier 9. And the best part? You don't have to pay for it. It's free. As you can see from this infinite repair kit, this is a battle pass tank, which means it's not actually free, but it's kind of free. It is obtainable free to play, just a bit longer. And of course, we don't get it. It's on the Lesta server, not the Wargaming server. Although, interestingly, Wargaming actually has this as a tier 9 medium double barrel that does 390. And actually, looking at the stats, it looks pretty interesting, but that's for a different video. So the best thing to compare this to is actually the Object 703 because they're so similar. And you know if I'm comparing a tank to the 703, it's going to be good. Yes, it's a tier lower, but most people kind of know what the 703 is, right? So that's the best thing to compare it to. Its DPM is only marginally higher because as you would expect, you're not going to have big DPM when you literally do an extra 100 alpha damage, which means you double for an extra 200. It's pretty much almost 1,000. So yes, the reload is in fact pretty long. A double takes, as you can see, almost 30 seconds, but you know what? I'm fine with that. We go to the gun handling. It actually has better aim time than the 703, but worse gun dispersion factors. This is still a downside. I would prefer the gun dispersion factors on the 703, but a huge bonus is the gun depression. 8 degrees, that's so nice. The tank is in fact slower. Quite a bit slower. However, the discrepancy can be somewhat mitigated by the field mod, right? This is a tier 9 field mod that grants it 2 km per hour to the top speed, and of course the 703 doesn't have access to it because it's a tier 8. Still though, it is kind of lacking. With a turbo though, it gets to around 40, pretty much, 39, and that's good enough. 40 km per hour for a heavy that has armor is good enough. And yes, this thing does in fact have armor. Lesta didn't go to the route of making it like a dumb gimmick tank that sucks. It's actually a pretty decent all-rounder tank, just like the 703. That's why the 703 is so good. That's why the Lišák is so good. The hull armor goes up an extra 100 millimeters, so that's nice. And the turret is thicker. And of course you get a lot more health because you're at tier 9. View range, both equally shit. At least the Lišák is a little bit better, but yeah, these view ranges aren't that great. So let's compare the armor of the two vehicles, because one thing that's very nice about the 703 is that it actually has very good armor. Of course, when you're in a brawl, your lower plate is an auto ricochet, right? So that's why you try to get up in people's faces. They aim at their lower plate, you bounce. From mid ranges, 703 is getting penned almost always. It's just kind of how it is. 703 loads heat, turret cheeks. Here's a little secret. Gun mantlet. Yeah, let the secret be known. I'm ruining it. And of course the turret roof. Once you get just a little bit above it, you can pen it. So how does the Lišák compare to the 703? Well, when you angle it like this, the lower plate is actually a lot smaller, so that's pretty good. And remember, this is 244 AP penetration as opposed to 211 APCR. So 211 APCR is kind of like 200 AP. So this is actually very good penetration in comparison. And as you can see, you're not really penning this mid plate here. Even flat, it's pretty much not going to happen, right? You angle and it's still a small target, and you rock backwards and forwards, it's going to be hard for them to hit it. You have this corner plate here, as you suspect. Lesta is not 100% immune from putting bullshit corner plates, but to be honest, if this thing could side scrape and plant doubles into people, it might be a bit too overpowered. So fine, whatever. You load heat, okay. The mid plate, it becomes weaker, but still, like, if you angle like this, you can bounce. I mean, it's still 40%, and here it's not going to pen because tracks and all that. The turret, strong. It has this here. I'm not sure how often people really aim for this. It's not entirely obvious that's where you should aim, right? You would think here, but... And yeah, Tank CG is a bit broken, don't worry about it. And also, this thing's gun is massive, as you can tell. It is, and you know what else is massive? No, it's the gun, just the gun. And because it's a double barrel and it's very big and thick, you can gun block extremely effectively in this thing. It's basically like the 60 TP, right? Someone aims down here, someone aims at your cupola, you go like this, and okay, look at this, you're covering like half your lower plate with this. I wonder how well it works with AP. It actually does work decently well with AP. So you should do that. Someone aims at your cupola, you do this, and you're basically covering all of it, which is very annoying. So again, I love double barrels. There's just so many good things about them. One thing you may not have noticed about this thing is that it's not just the gun that is massive. The actual tank itself is enormous, which makes the gun even more enormous. It's actually kind of ridiculous when you compare it to other tanks. Like this gun is longer than most tanks. And in fact, you want to know a little Easter egg? This is the same gun model that is on the BZT, the tier 11 with the 170mm. I'll put a little picture up, but yeah, okay, Lesta, is there like some lore to this? Or not lore, is there some historical reference to this or something? Or are you just lazy? I don't know. Wargaming's lazy. Is Lesta lazy? I don't think so, but who knows, right? One thing that's worthy of mentioning is that this thing is not a corner peeker, okay? You come around a corner like this, you expose this enormous area right here that anybody could shoot very easily, right? You come around a corner to double, holy, they're not missing this, okay? It's very different from the 703, which its turret is in the front. So you could come around a corner like this and double, and they do still have a shot here, but it's it is a lot smaller than this fucking enormous thing right here. So that's something to keep in mind. Anyway, now that you've got the gist of this thing, it's utterly amazing, and it's a replay farmer for sure. Let's get right into the replays. Alright, I know I say this a lot, but you guys are in for a treat, because what happens when you take the highest double barrel damage gun in the game and you put it up against tier 7s? Well, you get a very interesting replay. And as you can see, I like this tank so much I put a skin on it. This is the litmus test for if Chems likes a tank or is bored. I guess I did make a skin for the Panzernik, but most of the time if I make a skin for a tank, it's because I really like it. And you know what? This Soviet looking double barrel, you know what this reminds me of? See if you could tell from the plows in the front of the hull, right? And all the little armor plates on it. Yes, this does look like the tank from Black Ops 2, the Soviet one. So I thought, hey, well, I guess I'll just model that. And yes, this thing has an animated skin. Well, not this thing specifically, but the Russian server, yes, they have animated skins. And it looks amazing. It's metallic and animated. So yes, this is not like anti-wargaming propaganda. The RU server is just way better and funner. Well, okay. Better is subjective, but it definitely has a lot more content. Okay, there's a lot more effort and things put into the game. I think it's better. I like it. Anyway, I'm pre-charging up double in case basically someone comes around up here, they see me, they start backing up. If I start charging a double, I might miss it. But if I pre-charge, they basically have no time to react. I am the double master, okay? Anybody who watches me play the SFAC in Frontline knows that no one lands doubles like me, and no one pre-charges like me. Yeah, I'm tooting my own horn again, okay? This is a Chems video, what do you expect? Anyway, so there's 3 people in the cap, right? So obviously I'm going to go aim at the cap since there's a light tank that's going there, and oh, here's my first victim, an IS. Okay. Yeah. I mean, what is up with the stock ISs? I don't know if he's stock, but the fact that he just got full HP ammo racked from across the map suggests to me that he's a stock IS, because that just seems like the type of thing that would happen, right? Anyway, okay, that's 2 kills already. So, okay, 2 kills in the first, like, 2 minutes of combat, you know, the first minute or whatever was driving, right? So, yeah, how many kills I'm gonna get this game, Chems? How many kills are you gonna get? Well, you're gonna find out. So, look on the map, okay? Our team is pushing down there. There may be a tank destroyer down there, but, you know, at K9, it's not worth going all the way there for 1 tank. Everybody is gonna be around right in front of me, right? Presumably. And so, that's where I'm heading. And IKV is never gonna pen me. This son of a bitch, where did he pen me? I don't even know where he penned me. I don't know. Oh, he penned the top of my turret there because I guess I was angling down a little bit. He's basically a lucky son of a bitch, let's be honest here. And, oh, hey, Hellcat. Yeah. Yeah. What did you think was gonna happen, dude? You shot at me, like, in the front, and then you just sat there. Anyway, it's amazing. Look at the damage log. 1230 exactly. 800 exactly. This thing just kills everything. So, what am I gonna do now? There's an arty here. Okay, and oh, that guy shot me earlier. And oh, actually, never mind. There's more pressing matters at hand. You see this guy? Yep. I'm only firing doubles, dude. Always. The idea that you should never fire doubles because it reduces your DPM, unless you want to secure a kill, is completely retarded. Because, you know what else reduces your DPM? Firing one at a time. Because you have an intraclip, right? The shell takes 4 or 5 seconds to switch. Or, the gunner takes 4 and 5 seconds. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, you fire the first shell, you gotta wait 4 or 5 seconds before you can fire the second shell. If you double, that's faster. Now, of course, if you double, you've got a lockout timer, right? But even then, my point is, DPM is not everything. It really isn't. DPM is so overrated. The ability to trade shots is absolutely king. You poke around a corner, you may or may not take damage. If you take damage, I want to dish out 1,000. I don't want to dish out 500. I want to dish out as much damage as I can. And as you can see here, I'm thinking, alright, shoot that guy, because this guy has lower HP, and he could be rammed. He actually went for my tracks. He went for my tracks, huh? That's not gonna save you, dude. You should have just... you should have just let me ram you, dude. Fuck you. Anyway, 420 from the arty, and I'm on 7 kills. Did you notice that? Yes, I'm on 7 kills. I bet you didn't notice that. You think I'm stopping at 7? No, look at this. There's 2 people over here. In fact, there's 3 people over there. And I still have 1,000 HP, so I can just push on, you know, forward. Don't have to be afraid of anything. And, okay, aim. Yeah. I basically shot at the perfect time. The shell went high, and Stuart Mill killed him. Oh, well. And, oh, what? What the hell? I'm supposed to get 9 kills. Or 10 kills. What the hell's this? Am I gonna at least kill this guy? Okay, let's find out. So, he pens me, right? I wonder... Well, you're not gonna tell with the skin. I think the little plows are gonna block all of that, but... Probably hit my lower little sliver plate there. It's fine, because I'm just gonna crest this ridge and blow his head off. So let's just pre-charge this. Yeah. Oh boy, do I love this thing. I love it. It's so good. I hope they bring it to the North American server. Well, actually they are, but as a medium tank. But on to the next replay. Alright, so we're on Westfield, which is a pretty good map to be on when you have a high alpha damage, like a double barrel, with gun depression. And, no, your eyes do not deceive you. The mouse is a tier 9 on the Leicester server. This is not, like... I didn't mod this in. It's a mouse. Look, the T30 is pushing the mouse. The T30 doesn't push anybody. People usually push super heavies to give them a little speed boost. Not that it makes a difference, but that's usually what they do, right? Yeah, so maybe I'll make a video on the mouse. Anyway, look, a Roomba. Ah, what Roomba? I don't see any Roomba. What? There's no Roomba. Yeah, I love it. I just love doubles. Like, oh, you wasted your DPM. I don't care. I pull back, reload, and pop up and do it again. But yeah, so the mouse is a tier 9. Probably gonna make a video on that because, oh boy, does it just slap at tier 9. But yeah, stay tuned for that one coming up soon. I have it. I have played it. But yes, so every time I've loaded a double, I'm just gonna poke and admittedly over poke, but I think it's worth it because, yeah, I'd take that trade any day. Okay, he low rolled me for 345, and I smacked him for almost 1,000. Yeah, that seems like a perfectly good trade to me. You know what's funny? You know why I wasn't looking at this guy? Literally was taking a sip of my water. I was like, okay, I'm reloading for 30 seconds. Let me just pull back, drink some water. And then this asshole pokes me. I was literally watching him do it as I was drinking the water. Like, don't do it. Anyway, look, a broadside of a mouse. Okay, I don't care about the IS-3. He doesn't have enough HP for me to care. Oh, yes. I did take a return shot, though. He did actually... See how this thing, like I said, it pokes out so far forward. And because this is an angle, you would think, like most tanks, the hull would end right here. And then that shot I had where it's like right on the ridge, I'd be safe. But no, because it's so long, this was actually poking out. So I actually took a lot more damage than I was hoping, right? The AE phase, kind of a bullshit, you know, overexposed. Look, he's on 600 HP for that. I hope it was worth it. And then the mouse, yeah, it was kind of a misplay. I wasn't really paying attention. I want to poke this guy, but it's like, do I really want to take another 400 and be at the level of a one-shot for some tanks for 670 HP? I don't know if it's really worth it, man. And then, okay, this mouse is coming up. Let's just, yeah, you know, may as well give it a shot, right? One thing that's kind of annoying with having large ping with doubles is that if you're about to fire a double and then you let go, you letting go happens 200 milliseconds later. So, although you let go, it still actually fires the double. And on your client, it doesn't make the double shot sound, but you see 2 shells exit your vehicle, and you're on reload for now 30 seconds. And I can't believe this dickhead poked me like that. And like, you can see it right there. I was looking at this guy like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like literally giving you your broadside. He doesn't even know you're there. You know, I need to know what's going on with this guy. Is he just AFK? Okay, he's just AFK. I was gonna say, is this guy just extremely retarded? No, he's AFK, whatever. But yeah, this phase poked a whole like, yeah, okay, I got my revenge. But yeah, that phase poked all those people on my team. And he didn't get shot for it. Which is, so I was, yeah. You make plays around the assumptions that people will not be able to do certain things. Like, not only would they not get away with it, they wouldn't attempt it because it's a play that they wouldn't get away with. But then what ends up happening, because this is World of Tanks, they make the stupid play that you wouldn't expect, and they actually do get away with it. That's the North American server. 1,000, finally a double for 1,000. Look at that, amazing, beautiful. Of course, it's fucking shit-ass Artie has to get involved. But yeah, I was aiming at the Gonzalo's engine because when you double with a gun caliber this big, and you have that crew skill that increases crits, you basically always set them on fire. Like, I'd say 60-70% of the time you set them on fire, assuming you hit the fuel tanks. So yes, I lost a little more HP than I was hoping, which means right now I can't be too aggressive to get more damage, right? Had I not taken 2 bullshit phase shots, I'll accept the mouse shot, but if I had not taken those 2 bullshit phase shots, I would be on 1,000 HP and I could just drive in right here, you know. Even if I died, at least I would spot and probably get a double off before I died. But right now I'm so low, the moment I get lit, I'll explode to either a KPZ or an Artie. So you can see right now I'm just chilling, right? One thing I didn't mention in the tank review, which I probably should have mentioned. Look at the AP, okay? 980 meters per second. That's mid. So, in that case, what would the heat be? The heat will be much worse, right? No, it's faster. 1,200. Heat is faster than AP. Alrighty then, okay. Yeah, it's a bit pay to win, but it's balanced out by the fact that 300 millimeters of heat pen is pretty garbage. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty garbage. It's kind of the standard nowadays in World of Tanks, but like, remember like the phase, for example, 340 heat, the T10 340 heat, all these old school heavies get 340 heat, so nice. And like, holy cow, man, look at the size of this thing's gun. It's a 130 mil double barrel, look at this. And it only gets 300 heat? That kind of blows. Anyway, is this guy here? I'm gonna try and pre-charge, because the moment he gets lit, I want to just boom, because when he gets lit, everybody will fire, and I'll have to charge the double. So instead, I'm gonna pre-charge it. If he gets lit, boom, instant double. It'll probably piss off my team, like, what the fuck? He just got lit and he instantly gets doubled? What kind of bullshit is that? Yeah, look, don't ever question the double king. And there we go. so good. And yeah, that's the thing. I remember in my equipment guide, I was like, oh, maybe you could put improved aiming and vents to get this thing at a decently good accuracy, right? You could consider that. But then it's RNG based at the end of the day, so you land those shots or you don't. Either way. I do think in one of the replays I do actually use the improved aiming equipment, but we'll see. But yeah, that was a good game. On to the next replay. So this replay file, I named it Good Doubles and Bad Doubles. So I guess this is a replay I thought would be good to show to demonstrate the limitations of the double barrel. Yeah. Don't get it twisted though. Just because there were some bad doubles doesn't mean it's a bad match. I'm not going to show you guys a bad match. What am I, quickie baby? But yeah, one of the things I noticed with the double barrel on this thing is because it's so big, the shells are actually quite wide. It's kind of hard to tell because again, look how big this fucking gun is. Look at this thing. But yeah. I was going to double myself to get a boost up the hill, but I realized that actually I'm pretty much almost already here. But yes, the shells are quite wide. And yes, here I go pre-charging again. I'm such a piece of shit. But yeah. If you're trying to double weak spots, I'd advise against it. Unless you're very close. Or it's huge, like, I don't know, KV5 or something. Anyway, we've made it here. And as you can see from the little icon around you see the two shells? There's a little circle on the left one. That means I'm looking out of the left barrel. Which means the right one will hit the building. I have to be careful about that. You have to poke a little extra. 1,000. Yep. But yeah, one thing, I don't even think Kaizu knows this. And not to shit on him, but I did see some matches of him, like, missing the doubles. I don't think he realizes, and if he doesn't realize, then I guess a lot of you don't realize. If the double isn't going to hit, like one of the barrels isn't going to hit, the circle actually goes dashed. You can see in this short clip right here, I see that it's dashed, so I backed up more. But anyway, look at this. There we go, another double. We're already on 2,000 damage. So it doesn't matter that I'm killing my DPM. It really doesn't. It matters that I'm trading shots. If that 257 could have penned me, he could have. It's not too hard to pen if he just hit the little corner plate. He, I believe, also gets... No, I don't think it's 340 heat, but it's higher than this, that's for sure. So if he had penned, well, obviously I want to return a higher damage shot, right? So, always double. Unless you're in a brawl, then don't. Anyway, you can see, again, it's coming out of the left barrel, so I have to poke a little bit extra. And I didn't quite back up enough. You can see the dashed line was still dashed by the time I doubled. But it didn't matter, the Wheezy backed up and it was a slim shot on his lower plate. Which is fine. It's perfectly okay. I'll just reload and try again. I mean, these guys aren't going anywhere. So, yeah. But yeah, I think that's a good tip. If the circle is dashed, you're going to hit the corner or building, whatever you're side scraping off of. So be careful with that. It also shows dashed if it's a destructible cover. So anyway, there's a cupola. I'll just fire one shot. It's still 530. So yeah, that's pretty good. And I see, okay, they're backing up. I can move up and get a little hull down here. And that's a tortoise. And he's got a quite large cupola. So let's just, you can see the dashed line. So I backed up. Let's do that. Very strange. The weak spot of the tortoise's cupola is the middle, but it was the middle shot that didn't pen. Very, very interesting. Anyway, I'm gonna go for this guy. He's easier to pen. The tortoise has more health, but again, this guy's easier to pen, and okay, I guess not, whatever. So yeah, should you double cupolas? I guess, I mean, if you got nothing else to shoot at, sure, why not? But don't expect it to hit super consistently. So yeah, we're only on 3,500 because, I mean, if you look at the enemy team, they just completely fell apart, right? But still, I think this was good to show. And, okay, there we go. This guy went invisible, but about to get spotted any second now. There we go. Another 520. And that's just so nice. You don't even have to shoot doubles in order to get big shots off. It still hits for 490. So if you're wondering, hey Chems, why don't you use that piece of equipment that improves your alpha damage? Oh boy, I would. Trust me, I would. But you cannot put them on double barrels. Lesta understands that it will increase your DPM, and it'll be a buff to autoloaders and double barrels. So it doesn't get it. So there we go, already 4,800, because, yeah. And look at this, okay, he pens me with HE, kills my gunner. Okay. I'm gonna point towards him so he splashes me. He can't pen me, right? I turn to face the E50. He kills my driver, next shot. How fucking annoying, dude. It's fine though, I have enough HP to spare, but as you can see, I'm not shooting him, I'm waiting to reload because I want a double. I probably should have fired at that guy, but I think I'm saving my double for the Vickers, because as you know, I'm very vindictive when I play World of Tanks, and if you do something that annoys me, I'm saving my shot for you. And I have saved my shot for you. That is the problem with 160 ping. At the last second, I made a micro adjustment back. If I had 20 or 40 ping like on the NA server, it would have actually registered, and I would have hit that double. But it didn't. It lagged behind. So, I did 6,000 damage in theory, right? I should have shot the E50, right? 500, then doubled that guy for 1,000. Brought my total up to around 6,000. But yeah, like, as you can see, this thing can rack up the damage quick. Even if you miss a few doubles here and there, which kills your DPM, doesn't matter, dude. As long as you trade well, and you're not in like a brawl, you should always fire doubles. That's the key difference. If you're in a brawl, there's no reason to fire a double because you're gonna be firing on reload, right? So why give yourself that lockout timer? But if you're not in a brawl, you should pretty much always double. Assuming at the moment you don't need DPM. Anyway, that's all the replays I have for you today. Even though I said I played the shit out of this thing, I actually have 4 more very good replays of this tank. But those 4 replays are for something very special. That video is gonna be very interesting as well. Yes, I'm hyping it up again. But basically, it's one of the hardest missions in the game to get one of the most crazy tanks in the game. You got 4 games to do it. I've got 4 replays of this thing. Did I make it? Well, you're just gonna have to find out later. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.